You are listening to How to Get Over Your Ex, episode number 352. How to stop comparing everyone you date to your ex. Hello, beautiful brave hearts. How are you doing? I'm sending you all of the love. I got a really fun question on Instagram recently, and it's a question I get a lot. So originally when I got the question, I was like, I'm going to go grab the podcast episode. I'm going to go find the episode about this and then pin that as the answer to this question. But I couldn't find the episode. I could not find it for the life of me. And I thought that was interesting. The topic of how to stop comparing the men I'm dating to my ex. We should have an episode specifically on that. And we have an episode on how to stop comparing my new partner to my ex. We have an episode on how to stop comparing myself to my ex's new partner. But I could not, for the life of me, find an episode on how to stop comparing the people I'm dating to my ex. So the way I answered her question was super simple, which I'm going to share here, but I want to expand where it's acceptable to share more long form content, which is here on my podcast. So let's dive in. I'm so excited to address this question. I think the most simple answer to this question is when I find someone is comparing men that they are dating to their ex, it's almost always one of two things. Either number one, they aren't actually over their ex. They haven't fully reduced desire for or attachment to their ex. Or number two, they haven't actually gotten fully clear on what they want, and therefore their brain is comparing what they know, not necessarily what they want. The brain is always going to look for something to compare to. So if you have not gotten clear on what are the things that I want and what are the things I'm vetting for, your ideal, the only thing your brain has to go off of is what's familiar and what your brain knows, which is your ex. It's also the most recent probably. And so it's easiest for the brain to compare to that than it is to compare to something that you haven't fully fleshed out. Does that make sense? So if you are someone who is finding themselves comparing new dates to their ex, I would walk through these series of questions to really identify which area you need to get to advance in, okay? Okay, so the first one would be step one. Do I actually consider myself over my ex? Like, I have zero desire for this human being, and I have zero attachment to him creating the life that I deeply desire to create. If you say yes to that question, you'll move to step two. If you say no to that question, then you're going to want to simply really focus on reducing desire and reducing attachment to your ex, which we have plenty of episodes on. I'm going to link the appropriate things for each step in the show notes of this episode today. Step two, so if you said, yes, I'm totally over my ex, I have zero desire for this person, I have zero attachment to this person, then I would move to step two and I would ask myself, have I set my intention for dating? Am I really clear on what my purpose is for dating? Am I dating for a sexual partner? Am I dating for someone who does fun things with me? Am I dating to find the man of my life, my husband? And that's really important. We have to be clear on your intention, because some of my clients are simply dating to have fun and find someone to have safe sex with, and that's totally fine. But that's a completely different game than it is to be dating with the intention of creating your husband, right? So be clear on your intention. Step three is, have I identified what connections in life must come from my partner? And that's really important because a lot of times we think our partner needs to be everything, when in reality we have connections in life that meet those connection needs without the partner, which I love for us because I think it's a very slippery slope to get into when you're like, I want my partner to be everything to me. That's a whole separate conversation. We deep dive about that and Get Over Your Ex. I'm not going to go into it too much here. But the second part to step 3 is, have I created my want list after knowing my connections and like what's most important to come from my partner? Then what are the wants? What is a full understanding of my want list? And do I have a clear understanding of what questions I'm asking and what qualities I'm looking for and actually vetting for? Because when you're so clear about that and you feel so certain and complete with that and you're totally over your ex, it becomes such a simpler data-driven game. It's not anything dramatic. We don't get into this like spiral of things aren't working out. This is exhausting. I'm burnt out. It's just a much clearer picture of what's happening and why and what I'm looking for and what I need to create. So if any of those or perhaps all of those steps are not completed, then to me it makes complete sense to me why someone might be finding themselves comparing to their exes. It is so easy for the brain to compare to your ex. Like remember that our brain is a machine. It's a tool that wants to conserve energy and seek pleasure and avoid pain. So it's going to do whatever it can to like conserve that energy and not do the hard thing. And so comparing to your ex is easy. It's familiar. It's what your brain knows versus tapping into what you don't know or might not be as familiar with. And if you do not have a structure to walk through for each of those steps, then it can absolutely be more difficult to navigate. Now, we do this all together inside of the Get Over Your Ex program. So if you're someone who wants my eyes on your breakup situation, my personalized help, I want to invite you to join me there and we can walk through each of these steps so it's super clear, super simple about what you're vetting for. And we aren't thinking about your ex on dates. We are actually just fully present, enjoying our time, collapsing timelines for you to find the right partner for you based off of your intention for dating. Now, my clients do not spend years dating unless they're doing it for like funsies and that's what, brings them so much joy. They often find their kind of partner that they're looking for with a lot less drama and it takes a lot less time. We use data and this process within a matter of months or weeks. They find what they're looking for and it's just super fun. I do not resonate with the story that dating is draining and it's so exhausting and burnt out. That is not what I'm seeing with the people that I work with. Now, my homework for you is if you're finding yourself in this position of comparing these potential men to your exes or to an ex, is really first identify which step you're in. Do I need to reduce all desire for my ex? Do I need to reduce attachment? Or am I needing to set an intention for dating? Or do I need to get clear about the connections and wants that I'm truly vetting for and have clarity around what questions I need to be asking to thoroughly be vetting for those things, not comparing to the ex? And number 2, once you know, then I want to urge you to use the resources in the podcast. And again, I'll link some, or better yet, join us inside the Get Over Your Ex program along with my coaching. And I want you to address each of those steps. I have many podcast episodes about reducing desire and attachment to your ex, as well as the dating to engaged process. So I'll link some really relevant episodes that will help you know what to do next based on where you are in the scenario. And I'll drop that information in the show notes for you. Okay. I'm so excited for you to be out dating and not thinking about your ex, but genuinely having so much fun. Dating is fun. It is wild to me, my friends, that you wake up one day and without even realizing it, it's the last time you wake up single because that's how it works. You wake up, you meet someone, and then you're never single again. It's mind-blowing to me. You've got this, boo. I love you so much. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will talk to you next time.